Howdy y'all, thank you for joining us today for this unboxing of the newest expansion for Marvel Champions the card game, the Mad Titan's Shadow. As you can see, this is another one of the big scenario boxes. I have not actually played through any of these scenarios. I played this game a lot and I really need to play through these scenarios. But this one I've been looking kind of forward to. As you can see here, we get two new characters. We get Spectrum and we get Adam Warlock, and we'll look and see if we can recognize what the new stuff is. And then we can see the new villains and stuff we're going to get here are going to be Ebony Maw, Corvus Glaive, Proxima Midnight, and Thanos. So basically, Thanos and his Black Order. Hesitated there, little brain skip. Alright, so let's pop this open and see what's up. As usual, as soon as we get done with this unboxing, we're going to go straight into the... I'm going to try to play Spectrum and... Oh man, I can see the box is messed up, huh. But yeah, I'm going to try to go right into the Spectrum and Adam Warlock playthroughs, where I put them against Rhino. Very sweet, we got the book here. As you can see, right off the bat, lets us know any new rules we're going to have here. And lets us know the set symbol for the cards. Lets us know we have 268 cards here. 97 player cards, 19 villain cards, and 152 encounter cards. Additional forms, amplify icons. Those are the two new rules. And we can already kind of see here what we're going to know. The starter decks. And like I said, we're going to play these against Rhino right off the bat. And basically, go against the Rhino starter deck. We'll put a random extra side scenario in with him. But, yep. So we know Spectrum's going to be leadership, and Adam Warlock will be all four Spectrums. And we won't change these when we put them against it, just so we can kind of see how they want us or expect us to play it. After that, we just get pretty much the campaign mode rules. And then you see the campaign. And scenario number 1 against Ebony Maw. I'm not going to flip through this whole thing, that way it doesn't spoil anything for the campaign, but I want to say this feels a little thicker than the others, but I think it's just got a lot of art and stuff going on inside of it. But it looks like it's the same five scenarios for the overall campaign. And you can see that all here, the campaign log. Alright. Like I said, this is mostly going to be showing off cards. So let me zoom in and get us a closer look at these cards and get them kind of broken up to where they kind of go in order. Alright, I think I got these organized out. I'm assuming the Ebony Maw is the first part of this, since we already saw he's the first one in scenario number 1. And then kind of already looked at the back of this one to kind of see that it's the back part, so that made me figure out this must be the middle. And then these are probably each of the two little decks. So let's flip through this and see if it's something you want to add to your game or not. So this is the campaign. So what it should show us basically the cards for each villain, and then it's probably going to end with the campaign. I think it's the way they set up the boxes before. Like, as you can see, the 3 phases of Ebony Maw, or that sounds wrong to me, but yeah, the 3 different forms. And then we have his main scheme. And then environment. So it looks like he's going to be doing environment stuff, kind of like Absorbing Man. But as you can see here, his treacheries, an abjuration, and he's got 22 cards for his deck. And there's a side scheme, reaction overload. Sorry, those might have been a little off camera. But, so that should be all of Ebony Maw's deck. And then we have a 1 of 4, so 4 cards that are going to be the Black Order, I'm assuming these are like one of the side schemes, so it's Super Giant, the Black Order side scheme, and then Blood Despair as a treachery. And then we have Armies of Titan, which will have 6 cards in it. Black Order Infantry, Outrider, 2 of those. The side scheme Landing Craft, and there's 2 of those. Then we get into, which is probably the second one, which is Proxima Midnight, because we have all 3 of her cards there. She's going to have 27 cards for her deck, so there was 3. We got Corvus Glaive joining her. Oh, no, wait. Oh, maybe you fight both of them at the same time? Because now we got Corvus Glaive here. Main scheme. Main scheme. It does say Tower Defense. It did not say Proxima Midnight, so it says Tower Defense, which makes me know I got this in order because Tower Defense is how that one ended. So we got 27 cards here, and we're just going to kind of go through those. Sorry if I'm going a little fast. I'm going to try to keep it slow. I am anxious to look at all this. I really need to play through these scenarios, though. It's one of those things I could play solo, but I got people at the shop who are wanting to play, so kind of boning them up on how to play and getting them used to playing so we can basically go into it. Alright, so 26 and 27 are the same for the last parts there, which is City Under Attack. Then we get into Thanos here. And we have 3 stages of Thanos. Then we have the Infinity Stones. Balance the scales. It says there'll be 19 cards in this deck, which is Thanos. Thanos' armor, his helmet, Master of the Stones, Avatar of Death, Deviant Syndrome, I Am Inevitable, the Mad Titan, and then the Titan's Throne as a side scheme. Alright, so I don't know, we saw all the villains now, so now we should see a lot of the little side ones. Here's Children of Thanos, we got Corvus Glaive here, Proxima Midnight is a minion, Ebony Maw is a minion, and Corvus Glaive is a minion, so this if you just want to throw in the Children of Thanos into one of your schemes, or as a side scheme. So we got 2 tributes there, and that's one side scheme. Then we have the Infinity Gauntlet itself, which is 7 cards. Got the Infinity Gauntlet, and it's probably going to be all the stones: Mind Stone, Power Stone, Reality Stone, Soul Stone, the Space Stone, and the Time Stone. Oh, interesting. Hela, and it is a villain, shows an A2 and an A1. Then we got a B2, B1 here. So there's going to be 19 cards here. So they did not mention Hela on the back. I was seeing if there was a card that was supposed to show it, but cool. Alright, cool. Yeah. We got Hela here, 19 cards. It's making me look like, no, it's a villain. She definitely says villain. I was thinking, because that looks like a card. I'm guessing maybe this is a card. Oh, it's double-sided. Hey, let me show you the other side of that. So maybe you're going to go rescue Odin and then get to add him to your deck in some way. Side scheme there. This, I was not expecting this. This looks awesome. Definitely want to get into this and try this. Guess I've got to keep track and see if I see that it shows there's an A and B side on those. Well, Odin gave me no indication. I'll flip through and relook at the backs and make sure there wasn't a card to show you the other side of once I get done with this handful here. All right, we got Legions of Hell here, 7 cards. Some Draugr, Fallen Warrior, No Place for the Living, and then, yep, we saw, oh, I should have known I saw Legions of Hell here. Just, like I said, just wasn't expecting it since I thought this was supposed to be all about Thanos there. Now we got the Frost Giants. So we got Laufey. And it says there's 6 here. 6 cards for this side scheme. Loki. And he's a villain. He's got multiple ones. So maybe he's going through all the different stages. Yep, they're all the same back. So interesting. Yeah, this one looks like it's going to be an interesting ad. And I mean, I didn't show the backs of these because it's just you got the setup and the contents, but showing you the main scheme for Loki there, which says there will be 21 cards. War in Asgard. So this like feels like a whole extra scenario, but it showed in the scenario book, so it feels like this is threw in a bunch of extra bad guys, which is kind of cool. A Trickster, Enchantress. So Enchantress is, so that's the end of the Loki decks, and now we're into Enchantress. There's 5 cards, so she could be a side minion basically, where she shows up. All right, so that was an interesting surprise. I was not expecting that because I did avoid all the videos online because I wanted this to be a surprise as I opened it. That was awesome. I enjoyed that. Definitely want to get into that. All right, right off the bat here, we have another Cosmo here, but this is these are the campaign cards. It says there's going to be 23 of them. So these are going to be things that you can get through the campaign. And we got Cosmo here. And there's a side scheme on his back, so I'm assuming maybe the side scheme comes out and you rescue Cosmo maybe. So, because it does say flip that card. And then we got side scheme there. Black Swan. And like I said, I'll go back through these and flip through them quickly and see and show you anything that had a different side back that if I didn't catch the first time. But man, you can get some shawarma here. Max 1 per deck, and it gives you 1 of each resource. Seems cool. Defensive Protocols. System Shock. So these are all the campaign cards. Looks like Obligations. Retrieve Odin's Armor. Nornstone. Summoned Back. Jormungand. Oh, I already saw that has a back. Open the dungeons. We got Lady Sif here. Oh, we got the Warriors 3, I'm guessing. Yep, because Fandral here, Hogun, and Volstagg. All right, let me quickly flip through these, see if I noticed any different backs. I showed you all those 2. Oh, no, I didn't. I did not. So, Black Swan. And then this one was the Defensive Protocols. Retrieve Odin's Armor. The Nornstones are double-sided. Are they different on each side? Yeah, they're different, so I guess maybe you choose which one you want. One of them, is a hero action, ready your hero. Flip this card over. No, okay. Duh, flip this card over, and then Alter Ego action, exhaust Nornstone to heal 1 damage from your identity. Alright. I did that one. Alright. Let me flip through all these others and see if there was anything. Okay, I just flipped through all this to see, and I only caught one thing that I did not show, that wasn't just like the main scheme showing the setup on the back, and that's this, the Avengers Tower. It had a double back. But alright, now we're just going to go through each of these little side decks, or the hero decks. And like I said, I'm going to keep these together, and then right after this, I'm literally going to sleeve these up and play them against the Rhino deck. Sorry about that if you saw anything weird here. I actually just lost power, and it just came back on. I didn't even get a chance to even go through this yet. So, alright, let's get right into it. Here we go. So right off the bat here, we have Spectrum here. As you can see, this is her hero form. It says energy transformation, forced response. After you change to this form, choose a face down energy form upgrade. Flip that card face up to change to that energy form. So I'm assuming we're going to see some energy form upgrades. And let's look at our Alter Ego side. Monica Rambeau, and set up, put all 3 energy form upgrades into play face down, power down, forced response. After you change to this form, turn all your energy form upgrades face down. So there's how we're going to set it up. I'm assuming these are going to be the energy form upgrades that we are going to see. Yep, here's Gamma. As you can see, it gives her +2 attack. And when I change this form, deals 1 damage as a hero response. And then Photon, +2 thwart. After you change this energy form, remove 1 threat from a scheme. And then Pulsar, +2 defense. After you change this energy form, heal 1 damage. Alright. So these are going to be some special cards, kind of unique and different. We haven't had a character do that yet. And basically makes it to where, depending on what you want, if you want the attack, or if you want defense, or if you want some extra thwart, which would make sense since she's a 1/1/1. So, alright. So the next cards are going to be it should be cards that are unique to her deck. Normally it says 15, that's the reason I kind of skipped over my words there for a second, because I noticed 18, but it makes sense because 15 plus the 3 extra cards saying everything you have to have with Spectrum there. So right off the bat here, we're going to look at these next 15 cards. These are the cards that if you are playing with Spectrum, these cards have to go into your deck no matter what. Alright, so right off the bat, it's usually an ally. And here, right off the bat, we have Blue Marvel as one of the allies that will be in her deck. And as you can see, he comes into play and lets you change energy forms. So I'm assuming most of our cards are going to be ways to change to the energy forms. That way you can play and do things in certain energy forms. We got Blue Marvel here. And then we got Energy Duplication. You exhaust this. It's an upgrade that you exhaust to generate the printed resource on your face-up energy form upgrade. So just basically like any of the other ones where it does let you get a resource. It's just the resource is going to be dependent upon what form you're in, which would make sense since you're duplicating your energy. And there's 2 of those. We got Gamma Blast here. Change the Gamma energy form and deal 7 damage to an enemy. If you are already in Gamma energy form, this attack gains overkill. Pretty cool. And there's 2 of those. Looks like 3 of those. So she's got 3 big hitters there. They are expensive though. It costs 3. Change the Photon energy form and remove 4 threat from a scheme. If you were already in Photon energy form, ignore the crisis icon for this thwart. So I'm assuming Gamma basically was the attack, which it was. And then the Photon was the thwart. So we're probably going to have one for defense also. So we got Photon Speed here, 3 of those. And then we have Pulsar Shield. When Spectrum defends, change to Pulsar energy form and ready Spectrum. If you are already in Pulsar energy form, she gains Retaliate 1 until the end of the phase. And looks like 3 of those. So 3 ways to switch to those forms and give you a boost for doing it. Or if you are already in that form, give you even more of a boost for doing it. Alright, we got Speed of Light here. Hero action, change your energy form, and draw a card. I'm assuming 3 of those. Yep. So every one of her cards just lets her change it to her different forms. So those are the cards you have to have, and it makes sense so that you can play that character and do the things. Now, we knew she was going to be a leadership deck, as we saw in the book. So now the next cards are going to be leadership cards. And I'll try to recognize which ones I recognize as new, which usually is always a new ally right off the bat with these pre-made decks. And we do see one. Now we have Captain America as an ally with the leadership. But he is a 6 cost. But I mean 2 thwart, 2 attack, 4 hit points. He has toughness, which means he can take 1 hit for you. And then reduce the cost to play Captain America by 1 for each Avenger character you control. So if you build an Avenger deck, he can be cheap anyways. Alright. We have another new ally here. Our new ally card, I should say. Power Man. And he has a 3 cost, 1 thwart, 0 attack. But he does have 2 consequence stars on that attack. Power Man enters play with 2 cheat counters on him. As an action, discard any number of cheat counters from Power Man. He gets +2 attack for each cheat counter discarded this way until the end of the phase. So it kind of makes sense that you could just, since you know you're going to lose 2 consequence stars, you may just do 1 big hit on his last hit point or something like that. Another, well, it makes sense. Leadership deck. We should see a bunch of new allies here. We got White Tiger here. 2 thwart, 2 attack, cost 3 to bring out. Response, after you play White Tiger from your hand, draw X cards to a maximum of 3. Where X is equal to the villain's stage number. If the villain has no stage number, draw 1 card. So let you draw cards and possibly replace it depending on the villain's stage. We got Kalu here. 2 cost, 1 thwart, 1 attack. Response, after it enters play, search the top 5 cards of your deck for an event. Add that event to your hand. Shuffle your deck. And then now we go into, so they gave us 4 allies for us to try to go through, and then plus you have her personal ally. And they were all Avengers, so all of these should make Captain America cheaper. And then of course, if you go to build your own deck, you can add in the other Avengers that you like. Right here we got Mighty Avengers. I'm pretty sure this is, I think we've had this one before, but if not, play under any player's control, max 1 team card per player. If each of your characters has the Avenger trait, each ally you control gets +1 thwart, +1 attack. Maybe not. I don't remember that one, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just the picture was throwing me off or something. I think that is a new card. Mass attack, hero action. Exhaust 3 allies you control that share a trait with your hero. Deal X damage to an enemy where X is the total of attack of those allies and your hero. So a way of getting those heroes' attacks are to be able to do damage without having to exhaust them. Moxie, I do know this is an old card, so this I've already gotten this before, but yeah, hero response, after you change forms, your hero gets +1 thwart, +1 attack, and +1 defense until the end of the round. But they do give you 3 of those. Band together, this card generates 1 wild resource for each ally you control. This one is new and definitely will be going into my deck because, I mean, makes it easier to bring out allies for your leadership deck. And there's 3 of those, so cool. Alright, so now we get into some basics, which could be in any deck. And makes sense it's a leadership deck that we're going to have some allies. And here's Blade. 1 cost, 1 thwart, 2 attack. As a force response, after Blade thwarts or attacks, choose to either spend a resource from your hand or discard Blade. Because I noticed he has no consequence stars. So basically it makes it where you have to spend that resource from your hand or he goes away. So I mean, as long as you make sure you have that resource, he can keep attacking, and that can be pretty good. Especially, man, if you put this in an aggression deck, you're going to have that resource. Avengers Tower. This is a reprint. Maybe that's what I was thinking of since I saw that thing about Avengers for some reason. But yep, we got Avengers Tower there. Another reprint, but one of those cards I usually have in my deck, usually always, Avengers Mansion. We have Ready to Rumble here, which I believe is a reprint also. And then, of course, the reprint of Energy, Genius, and Strength. All right, so that would be the deck. So basically, if you wanted to just play this deck, you could just put it together. You could just take out the hero. I was looking for the hero card. I don't know what to do with it. It's probably on the top of one of these. Oh, there she is. So you would just take the hero card, mix this deck up, and boom, your deck is good to go, which is the way we're going to go against Rhino. So I just got to sleeve that up and get that ready. Now these next cards are going to be basically her obligation and her arch nemesis, I guess, which will come into play with a certain card like Shadows of the Past. Now the obligation card will automatically shuffle in. Every single hero you play gets an obligation card that has to shuffle into the encounter deck no matter which villain you're playing. So in this case, hers is the loss of control. And it just makes an obligation she has to deal with if it comes up, no matter who it comes up for. And then we have her nemesis, which would go off to the side unless a card tells you to put it into play, and it's Radioactive Man. And then it's going to have his side scheme. And then it's going to have some other cards that will shuffle into the deck if he comes into play. All right. So that's everything looking at Spectrum. Now let's go into the one I really wanted to look at, which I'm not an Adam Warlock fan normally, but when I heard how this kind of hinted at how this deck's going to play, kind of interested in looking into it. But let's go ahead and take a look at Adam Warlock here. So we got his hero form here. He is a 1 thwart, 1 attack, 2 defense. And he is a battle mage. As an action, you can discard 1 card from your hand, limit once per phase if that card is, and then depending on what type of card that is, you get to do something here. If it's an aggression, it's going to do 2 damage to an enemy. If it's a justice, you'll remove 2 threat from a scheme. If it's a protection, you'll heal 1 damage from an ally. If it's a leadership, you give a hero 1 thwart, 1 attack, and 1 defense this round. Seems decent. And then for his alter ego, he's got a 3 recovery here. Avatar of Life. During deck building, your deck must include an equal number of cards from all 4 aspects. You cannot include more than 1 copy of any non-Adam Warlock card. So what that's saying is, normally with the allies and stuff, you're only going to have 1 of them in there. But you can have up to 3 of a card in your deck. This is saying it's got to be a singleton. It's got to be only 1 of that card. But it has to be an equal number across all the aspects. So it means you can't really streamline your deck with just, I mean, yes, you can put all the best cards from each aspect in there, but you can't just streamline it to make sure you have a good consistency of getting that equal number by putting 3 of that card in there. So it's got an interesting deck build, and I want to try that out, our deck tech with that. As an action, you could discard a card from your hand to remove a status card from Adam Warlock. Makes sense if the way his power is, basically his powers work and stuff. All right. So now we're into those top 15 cards that are only in Adam Warlock's deck that you have to play with in his deck. And we have Pip the Troll. 2 cost, 1 thwart, 1 attack. Comes out with toughness. While Pip the Troll is in your hand, he gains interrupt when a player is attacked. Spend those 2 resources. Put Pip the Troll into play under that player's control, which I believe is the energy and mental resource. I'm still learning those. I don't know why. I just always recognize the resources. But so this is just an easy way of basically, as an interrupt, bringing him out. But looks like you could basically put him into play on someone else, which is interesting. Alright, we have Soul World here. 1 cost support. Response, after your deck runs out of cards, place 1 soul counter here. Alter Ego action, you can exhaust Soul World and remove 1 soul counter from it to heal all damage from your identity. So interesting Alter Ego card. We got Karmic Staff as a resource. Exhaust Karmic Staff to generate a wild resource. Warlock's Cape, hero response, after you resolve Adam Warlock's Battle Mage ability, exhaust Warlock's Cape to ready Adam Warlock. Cosmic Ward, forced interrupt, when you reveal a treachery card, cancel its when revealed effect and discard it, then discard Cosmic Ward. So, that Shadows of the Past tries to come up. No, sir. Alright. Hero response, after you resolve Adam Warlock's Battle Mage ability, draw 1 card. Karmic Blast, hero action, attack, deal 4 damage to an enemy and discard up to 4 cards from the top of your deck. Deal 1 additional damage to an enemy for each different aspect discarded this way. So you can possibly do 8 damage, just depending on how the discard goes. And Cosmic Awareness. Remove 3 threat from a scheme and discard up to 4 cards from the top of your deck. Remove 1 additional threat from that scheme for each different aspect discard this way. So same as the Karmic Blast. Only issue with this is it makes you, I was thinking, man, you can put it in basics also, but this makes you not want to put in basics in the deck because you want to be able to hit these, and hitting basics would just weaken those. Quantum Magic as an action. Choose a card in your discard pile, add that card to your hand. So let you set up for that. Alright, so that would be the cards that have to be in your Adam Warlock deck. And now we should see cards from all different aspects. So we got Marvel Boy here. 2 cost, 0 thwart, 2 attack. When Marvel Boy attacks, spend a red resource, aggression resource, or it's not strength resource, there we go. This attack gains piercing and ranged. In-Betweener event. As an action, shuffle this card into the encounter deck without looking. When revealed, deal 2 damage to the villain and remove this card from the game. This effect cannot be canceled. That's kind of cool. We haven't had a card do something like that yet, I think, that I've seen yet. So that's kind of cool that you pay it for a ticking time bomb that'll eventually do damage. Especially if it's revealed. Oh man, I mean, I guess if you weren't playing with sleeves, you would know when this one's coming up. But I play with sleeves, so I guess I'd have to sleeve it in a red. Cool thing is it will take the place of, I'm assuming, a boost, because it says when revealed, so it can take the place of a boost, or even, so it's got like kind of a double awesome effect. Not just, oh, I get to do 2 damage. It's going to stop something bad from happening, basically. Either stopping more damage or more scheme being added on, or an encounter. So that's kind of cool. Magic attack. Play one of your identity has the mystic trait, so maybe something to look into, but I don't play aggression with my Doctor Strange, but max 1 per deck. Hero action, choose an enemy and discard up to 5 cards from the top of your deck. Deal 1 damage to that enemy for each card discarded this way. So you can do up to 5 damage, but you're going to be getting rid of 5 cards off your deck. Okay. Uppercut. This is an oldie but goodie. Pretty sure I play with it in my aggression deck. And we should be seeing singletons. All these should be singletons. Which, oh yeah, it's max 1 per deck anyways. I was like, oh, that's a shame because we got some new cards here that are interesting, but... And I just realized with this in-betweener, that's kind of cool because it can go in any aggression deck. I know my roommate who plays aggression a lot is going to love this card. But yep, uppercut, oldie but goodie. Combat training, oldie but goodie. Audacity. So we're seeing these new response, or these new resource cards coming out. We got used to the ones that were just double resources. And we saw, I think the first one was with the, I want to say with the Nebula deck. I'm pretty sure it was a Justice card that we saw the new one with. And I think it was the Nebula deck. But it was just something cool and a new, interesting resource card to add in instead of just the same old, oh, this counts as double towards aggression or whatever. So this one is, after you spend this card, deal 1 damage to the villain. Kind of cool. And I think the other one was remove a threat from a scheme. So we'll probably see one for defense. I don't know why my brain just can't think of what it would do, but I'm sure it'd be something cool. All right. We have a new ally here for our Justice deck. We got Quasar here. 3 cost, 1 thwart, 2 attack. Response: after Quasar enters play, remove 1 threat from each scheme in play. Pretty cool. Oh man, that's awesome. I just realized we got the In-Betweener. That'd be cool if we have one of these for each aspect. So we got Living Tribunal here for 2. Shuffle this card into your encounter deck. Probably going to do the same thing as In-Betweener, but remove 2 threat from the main scheme and remove this card from the game. This effect cannot be canceled. So this one's going to do the same exact benefits we were talking about with the In-Betweener, but he's going to remove threat from a scheme. Main scheme, but still, pretty cool. For Justice, that is an oldie but goodie. I play with it in all my Justice decks. Zone of Silence, another Mystic card. Choose a scheme and discard up to 4 cards from the top of your deck. So actually exactly like the other one. Remove 1 threat from that scheme for each card discarded this way. And I kind of like that because what if you don't need to get rid... I mean, yeah, maybe really cool if you need to get rid of 4 scheme, but what if there's only 1 on there or 2 on there? I can just get rid of a few. Heroic Intuition, oldie but goodie. Yep, this is the other one I was thinking of that was in... I think it was the Nebula deck, but I could be wrong. But yeah, after you spend this card, remove 1 threat from the main scheme. And maybe we'll see them all in here since he is all aspects, so maybe we'll see all of them now. Major Victory. The Guardian that I remember a lot. 2 to bring out, 1 thwart, 1 attack. Interrupt. When Major Victory is defeated, choose a friendly Guardian character. Ready that character. Alright. Here's Eternity. Shuffle this card into your encounter deck. When revealed, draw 1 card and remove this card from the game. This effect cannot be canceled. I still like that. I mean, it's still taking the place of a card and it lets you draw a card. Seems cool. Can't wait to see the one for my favorite aspect to play, which is going to be the, of course, if you watched before, it's going to be my protection aspect. Summoning Spell, the Mystic one for it. Discard cards from the top of your deck until you discard an ally. Put that ally into play under your control. Just lets you put an ally into play. Pretty cool. Especially with some of those expensive allies. They can only be with a Mystic. Make the call. Old card. Inspired. Old card. And here we go. The Innovation Resource for Leadership. After you spend this card, heal 1 damage. I was thinking that was going to be the protection one, but heal 1 damage from an ally. So the protection one's probably from your hero. But all right. Here we go. Charlie 27, new protection ally. 4 to bring out, 1 thwart, 1 attack. Retaliate 1. And toughness. So at least that first time when he takes a hit, you're going to retaliate for 1. So, and then he can just do some attack and some thwart. And then if you could throw toughnesses on him again, seems interesting. We got the Gardener here. Just like the In-Betweener and everything. He's going to shuffle into the deck. Heal 2 damage from your identity and remove this card from the game. So he's just going to heal when he pops up. Good benefit. Here's the Mystic card, the Shield spell. This will definitely go into my Doctor Strange deck. When you would take any amount of damage from an attack, discard that many cards from the top of your deck, prevent all that damage from this attack. Only thing I don't like about that is, well, I guess you don't have to play it. Because I would say the only thing I don't like about that is you don't have a choice. But I guess you choose whether you want, because, man, well, yeah, you choose. Plus, you're going to reduce the damage by your defense. So that's actually better than I was thinking. Never mind. Counterpunch. Is this the one I wanted more of? No. But this is a good card. I do play with this card. Would have been great if they would have had, I forgot what card I'm looking for. It comes only in the Doctor Strange deck, but I want more of them. And then we gotta have some armored vest, an armored vest here. Preservation. When you spin this, heal 1 damage from your hero. Yep, what I figured it would do. All right, we have a basic here. Martin X, and he's another Guardian. So it looks like we're getting the old Guardians now since we saw all the original, the new Guardians. 3 cost, 1 thwart, 1 attack. Reduce the cost to play Martin X by 1 if your identity has the Guardian trait. So that can be really good if you're playing with one of those Guardian decks, which I want to build a Guardian deck. So seems good. All right, and yep, makes sense. Like I was saying already, you wouldn't want to have too many basics in here because of the way his cards work. So really cool. There's all that would be the deck for Adam Warlock. So next we're going to see his obligations and his arch nemesis. His obligation here, the regeneration cycle, and this would shuffle into the deck and you would have to deal with it if it comes up. And then we get, yep, would make sense, the Magus. The Magus is his nemesis, and this would come into play. And we're going to get his side scheme, which is Universal Church of Truth. And then Zealot of Truth, and Cosmic Inquisition. Alright, so sorry that was a little bit longer than it normally is, but I decided I wanted to kind of go through those cards a little bit more and read through them. I was excited to look at those, but we'll cut it here, and we're going to get those sleeved up and get right into a playthrough and see how that goes. But thank you for watching, and have a great day.